Okay, this is piece 130, The Portuguese by George Braque. He is a French painter. This is from 1911, and he would have been hanging out with Pablo Picasso and would have seen Cézanne's work. So these are definitely cubist work that we're seeing here. So the form, which is the most important part of this piece, and that's why we're starting off with it, is, well, it's highlighted by the fact that there's this monochromatic brown tones being used. Because the color is not drawing so much attention to itself, we can see more of the lines, we can see more of the form. There are numbers that have been stenciled on this piece, de ball at the top, and hey, throw me de ball. And then there are letters underneath the numbers, even at the top, Roman numerals. And then there are intersecting planes going on, right? All of these planes are intersecting one another. That's what we see. Flat geometric shapes, cylinders, circles, lines, just incredible geometric triangle with a rectangle here. There's no perspective or shading to create the illusion of space. So this is really breaking with traditional art. In our Renaissance pieces and since then, artists have been showing us a piece and then showing us depth even beyond the piece. So that is not at all the goal here. George Braque didn't want people to see painting as like a window. Instead, he wanted us to observe the canvas itself. So the content of this is that it's a Portuguese musician, and it's not one that just sat for this piece, like being a model. Instead, this is something that George Braque remembered from his experience in Marseille. He was in a bar and remembers this musician. And what he's showing us here on this canvas is his recollection of all of the different views of that artist. And he has dissected that memory, that event, and put it on a canvas just in an interesting dynamic of intersecting views. So he has really analyzed his object and isn't putting it out there for us as a recreation so that we can visually go, oh, there's a musician, but instead giving us something to analyze ourselves and to think about ourselves as we look at this piece. The stenciled letters, de ball, and the Roman numerals underneath it. And there are more letters here throughout that are stenciled. These are numbers here. The claim is that these help the viewer understand that you are looking at something that has been printed on a canvas, and so that the canvas can hold the paint, but it is also a part of the art as well. So by including, quote here from our text, by including out of context elements, the viewer is made aware that the canvas itself holds outside elements, making it just as important as what is put on top of it. So the canvas can't be separated from this piece. It's not just a tool here, people. All right, the function. This is Braque's analysis of the form being recreated, right? Dismembered, dissected, and our job as the viewer is to discover the clues to the subject. So I've given you three others of his work. This is the violin and candlestick, right? And so here's part of a violin. Here's part of a candlestick. And our job is to discover other views that we see in this canvas. Now, I might point out that he has not changed from the traditional subjects, right? He is still like, here's girl with the cross. This is still a portrait. I can see a girl here. I can see the cross. And she is vertical on this canvas. And she's really painted in a triangular format. So the historical traditional method of painting or topic of painting subjects, portraits, and here fruit dish and ace of clubs, um, right? Still lifes. That's not changed. Some context here. These are Picasso's pieces right here. This is Woman with a Mandolin. And the cubists return to that traditional, this form of an oval is has some history like cameos. Women wear these cameos at their throat, right? And they are, in the shape of an oval. So that is not new, but they've reintroduced it in a cubist form. So, and this is called analytical cubism, by the way. And here's a quote from a poet from the time who said, "The aim of these pieces was to paint new compositions with elements taken not from the reality of the vision, but from the reality of knowledge." So they're not trying to compose something that they're sitting in front of. Like, we're not trying to recreate a woman playing a mandolin here just so that you can, like a photograph. Instead, this is a mental recapturing of that from different perspectives, different approaches. And then here is Brock's Woman with a Mandolin. So, and as I say, we're keeping the same content, same vertical format, same materials. The oil on canvas isn't changed, but the form has been dismembered, re-put together on a canvas for us to imagine that form and to see it from a whole new way. Okay, so that is analytical cubism, George Brock, who is influenced by Picasso, and it's all about the form